Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Someone had asked me about magic, and I figured I'd just make this video so it's out here, so you can understand what magic means. It's not really dissimilar to what life is, because life is a magic thing. It's not too different than a dream world is. It's not too different than language is. It's not too different than it's magic is the whole thing. And how does it come about? I think is the question. Like a lot of people, they want $1 million, but they have really no idea what they would do with it. They want to be a professional basketball player, but they won't put the work in. They want to. There's so much desire and want and sometimes need. I think people that need things are they've lost a little bit of um, understanding. So need is not what we're looking for. It's a desire. Like life is a desire. Death is a desire for some people. An animal, eating bacon, watching TV, having a roof over your head. All these are desires. There's nothing without desire. I've never seen the movie, but obviously I will say the movie A Streetcar Named Desire comes to mind. It's very funny. It's a New Orleans movie. Maybe I'll go watch that tonight. But here's what magic is. It's it's um it's your focus and your intent on an idea that then takes form. Now that idea that takes form is going to be physical most of the time. It's going to be like a physical object. It could be a set of circumstances, but the set of circumstances that get you the idea that you want isn't necessarily in the time frame that you know that you believe that you think it goes about that way. If you know how time works, see, if you're a shaman or a time lord in that sense, then you can adjust and do things, and you can like, you're working on a factory line, and there's something going wrong, and you could fix it, and you could, okay, you can walk in, you could adjust these, and you could change this, and that's wildly different than just the general form of magic that people work with, and the general idea of what magical practice is I want that, and I want to just focus my being and my energy on whatever it is I desire. What else does anybody want? I mean, eh, magic is about love. Like, what do I love? I mean, black magic people would say is about hate, but that's not how that works. It's just about like how strong is the energy. So don't get that confused, because magic can be used, because the hate has a thing and love has a thing, and like if you're gonna like, where does hate come from, where does love come from? It comes from the same source, the same well pond, the well or the pond or the mentality. It's all the same thing. So for magic to function for um, your quality, your goodness, for whatever you desire, for a lot of times I think this is the most important part that I could explain about this, and I think that one of the greatest authors of all time, Manly P. Hall, said, "Here's magic, and here's why you shouldn't do it." Because there's always a teeter totter, there's always a balance to things, so it's always taking a middle ground. But if you do magic, if you really focus on it, it shouldn't be for your own benefit. It should be for someone else's. Because in the Kesh, we are all the same thing. So maybe you should make magic for yourself too. Who knows? Right? Isn't that the curious conundrum of life? Like, do you do something for somebody else, or do you do it for yourself? Because either way, it's Gandhi said, hey, he was a complete narcissist. Correct? He said, if you want to help your country, if you want to help the world, help your country. If you want to help your country, help your city. If you want to help your city, help your town. If you want to help your town, help yourself. Sounds very, very selfish and very like, just me, which is somewhat correct. But then we walk around and we see all of these other reflections of self that, like, let's help that. I don't necessarily know or can provide you with the answer to what is should you cut the weeds off? Should we cut you know, the shit off the tree, or should we go right for the root of the problem, or whatever that is? Because I think that's the two mindsets of how to deal with magic. But the point of this is that the magical art is there's always going to be hunger, thirst, and desire. That's not gonna change. I don't know. You can fast all day. I've done this. You can fast from talking. You can fast from seeing. You can fast from eating. And these are all great things to do for a lot of people, and it's a very profound thing, and it's also profound to like gorge yourself, to enjoy, and to really immerse yourself in this physical world. They're both exactly the same thing because you're producing this physical world by what you want to like. What do you want to? Do you really think you're going to sit there in meditation all day and stare into nothingness? But why? Because there's something you desire, which is the double. That's what Alan Watts talks about a lot, in the sense that what are you going through the meditation for? Is it for peace of mind, or is it for a desire that you have? Well, but you have a desire for peace of mind, so then you're binded. You're binded within the. What are you supposed to be doing? Are you supposed to be fasting? Are you supposed to be eating? But don't you fast just so that after that long fast you can enjoy how delicious the sun is, or the pineapple is, or whatever the fuck you do. But you can do that in every moment. I can just go. I can fast from a thought. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. And then I go, oh, here I am again, right? You blink in and out of these certain set of realities that you provide to yourself. And you provide those to yourself through, again, it comes back to what do you desire? What do you really want in this life? Or I mean, because it's everlasting for sure, but like we're not going to play that fucking game right now. We're going to talk about magic in this real time scenario, like I'm in a physical body. We're not going to talk about getting out of body and astral travel and adjusting time there. Let's just talk about what we can do here in the magical realm of what this life is. How can we produce something? Focus and intent. What do you want? What do you desire? How long does it take? See, now that's a different thing because you're not too familiar with time or space. Time and space are a little different. Energy is the what creates all of that. Whatever energy is, you call energy God, really, or whatever people think of as of that. So here's how you play with magic. Because think about it this way. You've gone through so many experiences and I want to say circumstance, right? Circumference is circle. It's a circumstance, yeah. To stand in a circle, right? It sounds very magical, right? Like you cast a circle, blah, blah, blah. So you've gone through all these things in life. How do you produce what it is that you really want? Because isn't it so that like there's nothing but desire? There's nothing but it. I mean, you're gonna live your whole life like thinking like, oh, I'm here for 72 years and I'm my brother's keeper and I gotta take care of everyone and I gotta do this and I gotta make sure this is done. I gotta change that and do this and like you'll be running around and never experience life because you're too busy trying to, make sure everybody else is happy. But sometimes, life is about because you enjoy making other people happy. That's what sex is. That's what love is. That's what magic is. I enjoy making people happy. But I also don't enjoy people when they talk shit to me, so I'm happy to talk shit with anybody, anytime. Right? See, that's the conundrum that people get in when they get too far into one of the realms. Like some people go into this like, fuck everything, fuck this, fuck that bullshit. And they get into like, ugh. They're grounded, they're heated, they're really in there. They're gonna okay, I mean I get it. But then you got people that go like, Oh, I'm floating like a butterfly. I'm flying around the infinite place. I'm all of this. But yet they won't stand up for themselves. They have no grounding whatsoever. They won't just be like put their feet into the earth and go, "Fuck this shit. That's not gonna happen. We ain't dealing with this." Those two things are part of the same types of magic. It's you call it the four, you know, the air, fire, earth, and water. You call it the northeast, west, and south. You call it the yin and the yang. You call it. There's lots of ways to play with like the way that people perceive the world, but the magic still exists within inside of your energy and focus to what you desire. Now, if you desire something, you'll get it. But if you hate something, so there's the flip of a coin. If you can just look at a coin, if you stood in the middle, what you'd see is I could go up the ladder, down the ladder. You could go up there and you get what you want. You go down here and get what you dislike. So what's more important, what you hate or what you love? For me, it's pretty simple. I mean, I kind of sit in the middle most of the time because I'm like, is that the right choice? But it, truly, I mean, shouldn't you choose the path of? I'd rather focus my energy and attention on something that I adore and love, and would really like. That's it. Then I sit here fucking and because we all do it. We all do it. We're like fucking we all do it. But and you're allowed to. That's good too because that's a release valve. That's a pressure release valve. But don't get stuck in that. I've seen people do it. Seen people get stuck in the release valve in the bad direction and they go fuck and they end up their lives become this whole conundrum of fuckery. Yeah, have some fuckery, you know, but have the ultimate joys and pleasures and providing other people with wonders and all that thing, whatever that might be for them, because it's not a balance. It's just stay a little bit more into like, huh. I mean, it's light outside. I mean, look at it this way. Let me try to explain this to you. I'm gonna give it the simplest way possible. Explain to you really high level magic. For 12 hours a day, 365 days a year. Now the sun in and out, right? It might be 11 hours, it might be 13 hours, but there's basically, we'll say 50-50. There's sunlight and there's darkness. Yet the moon still provides light. So no matter how you perceive this, there's always more light than there is darkness. Always. When there's sun out, there might be a cloud, but it's still pretty bright outside. I don't care how dark it is during the day. It's pretty fucking bright out. And at the night, I don't care how dark it is, there's still a moon there. So no matter what, whatever the light is overwhelms the dark. The dark. And by light and dark, if you've never heard me speak before, you know what I mean by this. I'm not saying like black and white. I'm not saying, you know, I'm just saying that there's definitely a little. If there was more darkness, this whole reality would be shut down already. If there was darkness everywhere, what would you? I mean, how could we survive all the darkness? But then here come the blackbeards and the black dogs and the black arts and the magicians and all of this. So yeah, the point of this is have fun on your journey. Magic is not about controlling. Trust me, in the future I'll give to you understanding of what Time Lords are and what shamanism is. But magic is not about the 5 steps you take to jump over the river through the, like, you got a little pad here, a little lily pad over here, and you got to jump across it. It's not about those steps. It's about getting to the other thing, and the other thing is what you want, and that's what you focus on, not the steps, because you don't get to do that. You don't get to know about what the steps are to take to get to what you want. That's what I want. That's magic. That's what I want. And you focus. You can and just don't obsess over it. Don't obsess over it. Just know what you want. Write it down on paper. Make an image. Make a sigil. Make whatever. Burn it. Put it into a canister. Bury it. Do whatever technique that you think you need to do within the magical realm. Usually burning the paper is the best because it goes into the air, and the air is going to work a little faster than most things. But you could bury it if it's a bigger idea, probably bury that. And then the earth will eat it up, and then it will blossom into like a giant tree that will give you fruits. So if you need something really big, bury the shit. If you want something kind of just like, I need it right now, write it down, make a sigil, burn it, and then they should come faster that way. So there you go, y'all. We'll talk very soon. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast.